All right, part two of the plastic shovel. So we're going to be fine tuning lots of things on this. We're going to try and flatten out the back so when we push with our foot's not sliding off. So we've got this rigged up just to see what's, you know, what it looks like. But we're going to come up with actually a metal plate that comes across the backside that these hooks are going to tie into. Then we can really heat this up and pull it in and flatten that backside. As a result, though, this handle is going to come with it, which is going to give us more angle, which we do want on this. We want a little bit more angle, which will be fine. So we're going to work on that, and we're also probably going to get more of a dish going on here. Taking these again, tying them across, heating this up a lot hotter than we had it before, and try and get more of a dish. And then obviously I'll drill a bunch more holes. We were thinking about with the handle to strengthen it up a little bit more, because it does have some flex, which is expected. We were going to drill a hole up top and pour something down the middle, but out of curiosity we actually cut the other shovel's handle off to see how big of a hole it has, and the answer is 0. It has no hole. This is solid. I think that was a little air bubble in the mold, but this is a solid shaft. There is no hole in the middle. The second one we're going to do, you know, this is about making a scoop for less than 30 bucks, and that one we're going to stick with that process. Tom, for this one, ordered a carbon fiber shaft and took all the measurements and everything, and it's going to sleeve over this, and then we'll cut this shorter and it'll sleeve over the top handle if he chooses to use one. But yeah, this one's going to have a carbon fiber shaft. But anyway, interesting to know it's not hollow at all. So we'll figure out exactly what we're going to do with this, and I'll video it, and we'll see what happens. So we're making a bracket that's going to go across the back of the shovel to try and flatten it for the foot push. I'll show you how this sets up in a second. Alright, so the general idea to try and get the back a little more flat, I made this bracket. We're going to drill a couple holes here to correspond with these holes that I made. We're going to anchor it to the table, and I've cut that notch out to kind of go around the shape of the handle, and then we're going to run anchors through those holes, attaching to the shovel with whatever we can come up with, apply pressure, and start heating all around, and try and have this metal piece pull the back in to somewhat of a flat position. Let's see how we can anchor this down. Alright, so we got the turnbuckles installed, we got the metal bracket across the back, and we're going to heat up the shaft where it comes in, which is solid plastic, we confirm, and then around in this area, just off to the side, and try and make this whole back section pull forward as we tighten up the turnbuckles. So we're going to take our time here and heat this up very slowly, and we'll see how it's going to take form. Alright, so we've gone around with the heat gun. We actually used a torch as well to get this plastic good and hot. It's kind of drastically changed shape because this back has come in. This bar started out probably back here, about, I don't know, 1.5 inches or so. This bar has moved on both sides, so it's taken shape nicely, but as a result it's kind of flared out the sides. But regardless, I wanted to put more of a crest in this, and also we've got it screwed to the table, which might kind of be changing the form as well. But we're gonna let this cool off because we got it nice and hot. Let it cool off for quite a while before we take off our little contraption here and see how we do. Alright, so the back ended up somewhat flat. As a result, though, my handle has almost come to a 90 degrees, so I'm going to be heating that up and bringing it back a little bit. And then my next thought, with the scraps from cutting off the edge of the shovel, I've cut out this piece and I'm going to cut out 2 more. So I'm going to do that there, and I'm going to mold 2 more to this to kind of make it a T-shape that's going to come across the back, and it'll act as kind of a foot push, and also it's going to reinforce this whole area where the handle is putting pressure on the scoop. So let's give that a try. Alright, so my plastic welding idea, this was gonna be my foot push, and this was gonna go up the shaft. I was gonna melt it. That idea is going straight out the window. I don't have a plastic welding kit where you actually take plastic and feed it in, so I'm taking old scraps and stuff from what we cut off, and it's just not melting together very nicely. It's really weak and brittle. So the reinforcement part and the push pad is not going to happen. That's okay. Now we're going to put more of a curve into the dish of the... Alright, so we ended up heating up the handle again and almost making this thing straight again. So since we bent the back over to here, it pulled the handle more vertical and it was almost ended up to be a 90-degree. So we heated up the handle again, straightened that back out almost, not quite straight. And now I'm just putting a little more of a curve in the center dish. I'll be tightening up these turnbuckles after I get it hot. And then I'll drill a bunch more holes. And I think this prototype's going to be done. Not much else we could do as far as reinforcements and stuff. And it's still as sturdy as it started out. It's really impressive how thick this plastic is. So I'll keep heating this, tightening up this turnbuckle, let it cool off, and we'll see the end result. All right, well, here's the final product after drilling a lot more holes. I ended up going 5/8 on the bigger holes, 1/2 inch on some, and I don't recall 3/8 I think for some of the other ones. Just trying to fill some holes here, or to make some holes just to get the sand to sift through a little better. We are able to heat up the back when I had the tethers tied here, pulling it forward, heating it, but as a result this flares out. But you know what, that's not too bad. We ended up doing also another curve here, pulling this in, getting that curve more drastic. So I like the overall shape. I wasn't able to add plastic to reinforce some areas, but it feels pretty darn strong. So if you go into this, keep in mind you're not going to add plastic, you're only going to be taking away and heating and reshaping, so do it cautiously. We got lucky that there's nothing I would do differently, really, maybe in a different order. The handle that I bent initially, that would be the last thing I do, because after you reshape the back, it changes the angle of the handle, so I had to almost straighten that out again. But I'm happy with the overall product. And the flat portion on the back is going to be good for a foot push. There's what it looks like from the top down. There's the angle of the scoop. So we'll get out there and try this out. It should be a lot better than the other day because of the multiple holes that I've added. But I'm not sure there's any more changes I'm going to do. I think I've worked this plastic enough to where I'm on the verge of going too far. So I'm going to leave it however it performs is how it performs, and we'll get out there and test that here real soon. All right, we just got to La Jolla, and we're going to try out the final product here and see how it works out. So see you on the sand. $14.13, probably a pull tab. It's in the scoop. See how these new holes do. Yeah, it sifts a lot better. And it's pull tab. Pretty nice shallow 15-16. It's in the scoop. Work on sifting technique. Look at that new shovel. Pulls off a ring. And back. Well, ring in the new scoop. Can't complain about that. It works pretty good. All right, this will be the last test with the scoop. I have a mid to high 20s here. It's in the scoop. See if I can't just keep it on the ground. Like when you detect for a while, your shoulders hurt and everything else. This might be good for that. Yeah, it's sifting a lot better now with a lot more holes, so got a dime. So all said and done, I'm pretty pleased with this shovel. it works out really well. Tom's making his. He's cut it right here. He's doing a carbon fiber shaft. And he also bought another one and did a whole different shape down here. So we'll keep experimenting with it, but for now, this is a great dry sand shovel.